back inside Coleman Coliseum. The fourth and final rotation between the Tigers and the Crimson Tide. Jeff Thompson watching his squad get prepared as they will be on the beam for this fourth rotation.
And leading them off is Brzostowski, a last-minute replacement for Rachel Innes. Sometimes coaches need to make changes depending upon how an athlete is feeling and how they warmed up that day, and sometimes it's obvious, other times it's just a gut feeling by the coach. They can actually change the athlete up until the time they salute the judge.
And here is Lauren Brzostowski, the sophomore from York, Pennsylvania. What a moment for her to compete in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
This could be a little bit of a risky decision, putting her in. Going for the series, 2-back handsprings to a layout, solid as can be. She's been suffering with illness over the last several weeks, 3 weeks in fact, and the doctors have only allowed her limited training time. Doesn't look to be a problem so far. She hit that crucial tumble series. Saddle jump, back tuck, another solid connection. Full turn is clean, no deduction for a wobble there. Endurance could be a factor heading into the dismount here. No problem, round off 1.5 twists, almost nails the landing. What a great routine for her under tough circumstances. She has not been able to train as much as she would like to coming into this competition. And at the last moment, she was put in not only to compete on beam away against Alabama, but first up.
And she comes up with a big score, a 9.850.
1, 2, 3.
And Alabama's had 3 great rotations. Can they get a fourth right here on the floor?
Well, they are anchored by Morgan Dennis, the 2007 national champion on floor. She is a huge tumbler. They will definitely feed off of this home crowd and their energy. And with a pretty solid lead, they can relax a little and enjoy the performance.
Ashley O'Neill up first, the senior from Kennesaw, Georgia. She scored a career-high 9.85 on the floor exercise at the Super 6 as a freshman.
Front to a double back, does a good job of keeping it in bounds. This is the only event that Ashley's competed all year, and her only event tonight. She's had to sit on the sidelines and cheer on her teammates. Sometimes that can be tough to do. You get a little bit cold, and you've got to get in the zone when it counts. Important to choose music that not only complements the style of the athlete, but something that the coaches and the choreographer feels that the crowd can get into as well. Anytime that you can really involve them, it just makes the experience that much better for the athlete, and that will bring out their best performance. Bit of a rough transition from the choreography to the tumbling. See, she's putting a little extra concentration in before that final tumbling pass. A double pike, 3 passes on her feet. Pretty good job.
The senior enjoying one of her final routines inside Coleman Coliseum.
On this opening pass, it's important to get just the right amount of rotation on that front. If you over-rotate it, you're going to crunch your round off, and that is going to take away some of your power. And if you under-rotate it, you're going to be too slow coming into the combination of skills out of it.
And Alabama starts off with a 9.825. And here we see A.J. Mills, the senior for the Auburn Tigers, 8th in the nation in the all-around.
Having a great all-around competition tonight. Don't underestimate how difficult it is to compete on beam in this arena. Close to 15 or 16,000 fans here. And of course the Tide are on the floor, so it is very noisy in this arena. Tumbling pass, 2-back handsprings layout. AJ is dead on. Switch leap, straddle jump. Important to stay internally focused on this event. Take one skill at a time. For each one, think of those cues, the cues your teammates and your coaches have been giving you in the gym. A dismount gainer back handspring into a gainer full, nails the landing. A super fantastic job. This is the tumble series. 3 skills directly connected. By doing so many in the gym, you learn how to, if one skill is off, to correct it without overcorrecting it and throwing your timing and rhythm off.
And a great score of 9.9 for A.J. Mills. Up next for Alabama, the junior Ricki Lebegern, who has really enjoyed performing in front of this crowd at Coleman Coliseum.
Coming in as a freshman, I mean, I was one of the ones that looked out there and looked at the crowd, and I was like, wow, this is like 10 times more people than have ever come to meet for me. And I just kind of got nervous, and ever since then, I built my confidence up, and I can, I look at the freshmen, and I can see when their first meet, that was kind of me my freshman year. So I've learned to be more confident. The more confident I am, I go out and hit the skills. I mean, it's something, a lot of the skills I've done for 10 or more years now, and it's just become consistent. And going in the gym, I kind of practice as if it's a competition. So when I'm in practice, I'm doing what I'm doing. Come competition time, that it's just automatic and it's just switch.
Don't underestimate what she brings this team in terms of her stability and consistency. She is their highest ranked all-arounder, ranked 14th in the country. Once again tonight, she's been in that 9.85, 9.8 range across every event. Opening tumbling pass. 2.5 twists, a little unstable on the landing. Tonight she's been slightly overshadowed by some great performances by her teammates like Morgan Dennis, Kayla Hoffman, who's been back in some of the lineups after being out with shoulder surgery, and Ashley Priess has been very strong tonight as well. A full front layout, much better, a little bit cleaner on the landing.
Malloy, this is an SEC champion. She won SEC vault and balance beam last year as a sophomore, the balance beam as a freshman.
Again, that shows you what kind of a consistent athlete she is. She's very strong on beam, and that's definitely an event that requires that stability and consistency. Intensity and focus heading into that last tumbling pass. Very strong double pike. Now she can really play up to the crowd and have some fun, finishing up the routine very nicely. Tumbling was pretty strong, a little bit unstable on that opening pass. It's a 2.5 twist. She gets great height, and you can see here she flares open her arms, trying to control the landing. Big hop out on the landing, probably a 10th or a 10th and a half deduction.
A score of 9.8 for Ricki Lebegern on the floor for the Alabama Crimson Tide. The final routines when we come back to Coleman Coliseum. SEC Gymnastics from Coleman Coliseum, Auburn, Alabama, 5th ranked Auburn, and the 11th ranked Crimson Tide. And the Tide showing one of their best performances so far of the season tonight.
They have been absolutely hot. And again, we have to mention some of their key athletes are now back in their lineups, and I think that boosts their confidence as well as their scoring potential.
This is Ashley Priess on the floor. Alabama came into this 4th and final rotation with almost a full point lead over the Auburn Tigers, who are having a tremendous season. But Alabama, what a showcase.
Second tumbling pass for Ashley Priess. Half to a front layout. I love her choreography. It's artistic, a little abstract and fun at the same time. She shows off her style and her showmanship. Change of music here. This keeps things a little bit interesting. A nice tuck double full. Athletes can get bonus points through difficulty not only in their tumbling but their dance elements as well, like those leaps and jumps. breath before that final tumbling pass. It's a crucial one. Always difficult. At the end of a minute-and-a-half routine, a double pike, a D-level skill. Well done. Great full package here in this routine.
Nothing like a chest bump from your teammate.
Oh, she looks like she's having a blast out there. And her choreography was very unique. A lot of interesting skills like this one. It was fun to watch, and it's great for a choreographer when you have a freshman who has this kind of talent in terms of dance ability. And the final tumbling pass, a double pike, that's a D-level skill, very difficult at this level to have that endurance and the energy to put that skill on your feet at the end of a routine.
And a brand new career high, 9.925 for Ashley Priess.
News for the Auburn Tigers, but tonight to beat Alabama, they needed to be almost perfect.
And we finish things up with the 2007 NCAA floor champion, Morgan Dennis. And it appears she will win the all-around tonight.
Barring any catastrophe or major mistake here, that all-around title should be hers. And Alabama is well on the way to possibly getting a season-high team score here. Opening pass, it's impressive, a double layout. Just a tiny stumble into the lunge position. This is an exciting job for Morgan Dennis. She is usually the closer on the floor. The last event at home meets for Alabama. I talked to her before about this job. She said she enjoys the challenge and the excitement of having to, her performance quite often decide whether or not they win or lose the meet. But tonight, with the pressure off, she can really let loose and have fun. Crochet half into a split full. Playing up to the music, a very powerful drum beat. Works well with her body type and her style. You saw her power in that opening tumbling pass. She has 3 tumbling passes with double saltos, including this last one. A double back. Well done.
What a way for Alabama to conclude a terrific meet at home against Auburn.
They fall in the middle of this lineup. Could have taken the steam out of this Alabama team, but they came back with huge scores from both Priess and a huge score, I'm sure, to come from Morgan Dennis here, opening with that double layout. Very impressive E-level skill, and finishes with a sky-high double back.
And a score of 9.975 for Morgan Dennis. And what a night it was for Alabama. They have a season high as a team on the floor, 49.325. So a season high on the vault, a season high on the bars, a season high on the floor, gives them a season high overall, 197.35, as they get a victory over 5th-ranked Auburn. Lori Strong-Ballard is with our winners.
Well, Coach, Auburn was hoping to beat your streak of 96 wins, but not tonight. You guys had some great performances out there. What were you most impressed with?
Well, I think, first of all, our team's work over the last week. You know, it was tough having those couple of losses, and we just came back together, though, and I just felt like if the ladies had as much faith in themselves as we did, that they would do great tonight. And I think once we got off to a great start, I think they started to feel that faith, and that's what it takes. It was teamwork, the best we could do tonight.
Well, it paid off, and Morgan Dennis, what a night for you. I know you've been dealing with some ankle injuries. How good does it feel to be back on top again and do so well in the all-around?
It feels awesome. Those 2 weeks I was out, I was just like, I couldn't wait to get back into the lineup. And so I just rehabbed, ice, taped up as much as I could for those 2 weeks. I strengthened it, and it's feeling a lot better now, so I'm ready to compete again.
And almost a perfect 10 on that final event tonight, Floor. Outstanding job there. Could you feel the anticipation of this crowd, the fans, the excitement they had before that final pass?
Yeah, I mean, I felt it the entire night. I was telling Kayla, she's in front of me when we line up and go out. I was telling her, I was like, they're so awesome tonight. The crowd is totally behind us. And I definitely felt it throughout every routine I did, all of our routines. It was so awesome how we can just inspire all of these people.
Well, congratulations on a season high, and good luck with SECs just a few weeks away.
Thank you.
What a win for the 11th-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide as they defeat the 5th-ranked Auburn Tigers with a season high 190.